Good evening. You're watching Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Ever since the Prime Minister dramatically announced the end of the 500 and 1000 rupee notes on the night of November the 8th, there have been, and I kid you not, more than 15 notifications by the Finance Ministry and the Reserve Bank of India on the rules of withdrawing and depositing money. So remember when the PM and the Finance Minister said that people did not need to rush right away to banks to deposit old notes? After all, we had time till the end of December, they said. Well, not exactly, because today the government changed its mind again. So today, the Reserve Bank announced that people can deposit over 5,000 rupees in old notes only once. And when you do it, you have to explain to at least 2 bank officials why this was not deposited earlier. Have the constantly changing rules helped or hurt ordinary folks?
30 दिसंबर तक डिपॉजिट एक्सचेंज ये सुविधा विड्रॉल की आपको उपलब्ध है। विड्रॉल की तो बाद में भी रहेगी, सारी जिंदगी करते रहेंगे। डिपॉजिट की भी 30 तारीख तक है।
The latest flip-flop. This official notification happened on Saturday but was barely noticed till this morning. Imposing stiff curbs on deposits over 5,000 rupees, it ruled you can do this only once till December 30th. You should be questioned, which should be overseen by 2 bank officials. You should explain why you could not deposit this earlier.
How can you convert banks into inquiry police stations? How can a bank which is meant for service of the people question any individual who is going to deposit his or her hard-earned money?
आपके पास है तो आप एक साथ जमा करा दो ना, आप क्यों लंबी क्यों कर रहे हो?
We visited over a dozen villages in Madhya Pradesh, and the sense that we could get on the ground is that majority of the villages have either deposited or exchanged their old currency notes. But there is still a significant number of villagers who feel they are highly inconvenienced because of this constant back and forth in rules.
A short distance from Bhopal, there Rampal is working extra hard because tomorrow he will go to the bank to deposit 4,000 rupees his wife has in banned currency notes. But he's worried that he'll be in trouble after the latest flip-flop in rules, as he's already deposited 15,000.
ये दिक्कत हो रही है कि नोट सरकार बार-बार नियम बदल रही है। 2-4-5 हजार रुपए पड़े हैं, मैंने देखा नहीं, मैसेज के पास रखा हुआ था, उसको मुझे चेंज करना है, मैं कल जमा करूंगा। खेती का काम की दिक्कत होती है, क्योंकि आप फसल में काम करना पड़ रहा है, ये खुच रहे हैं। अब 30 तक का सोच रहे थे, अब आप ऐसा बोल रहे हैं तो कल करना पड़ेगा मुझे।
The strict rule over the 5,000 rupee deposit is just the latest in a series of flip-flops. And now, the countdown has begun of the last 10 days of the 50 asked by the Prime Minister to implement demonetization. NDTV Bureau Report.
Joining us on the program tonight, BJP spokesperson Sambit Patra from the Congress Party. We have spokesperson Salman Soz in the studio with us. From the RSS, Mr. Rakesh Sinha, and Professor Arun Kumar, economist and author, in the studio with us as well. And I'll begin with you, Professor Kumar. This is the 52nd notification since the 8th of November. In your view, has this just led to more chaos and confusion for people, or is it something that will actually help in the long run as the government gets feedback from the ground, realizes what's working and what's not? What does it say to you?
Well, as you said, it's keeping the people very confused, as to what is happening. And it also gives the impression that the government hadn't thought through about what's their plan for the whole thing. Also, I would say that since each currency note says, I promise to pay the bearer a certain amount of money, that promise is not being kept. And this gives a wrong signal. So, people will lose faith in currency, people will lose faith in the banking system, and people will lose faith in the wider system of the governance in the country. And that would be disastrous, because if people shift faith from the currency, they'll move to foreign exchange, they'll move to gold, they'll move to other forms of what are called near money forms, and that therefore would undo some of the things that are being attempted in terms of digitization and so on. So I think it's not a very good thing as far as economics is concerned.
I just want to take that to Rakesh Sinha, because Professor Sinha, one of the things the government said very clearly was that we had time till the 30th of December to deposit this money. There were lots of people who actually waited until the lines sort of became less to do it now towards the end of December. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said on the 12th of November that everyone need not come to deposit old notes in the beginning days itself. You have time till the 30th of December. Now it's changed. How do you explain this to people?
Look, you have to define the people. The common people have already deposited their notes. You just go to the people who have 10,000 rupees or 10 lakh rupees. It is the problem with the people who have the extra money generated through either black.
How do you know that?
Yes.
How do you know that? Did you do a survey?
The common people have resolved their problem.
How do you know?
They stood in the queue. And I know because you know the thousands of crore rupees have been deposited in the Jan Dhan Yojana. What I want to say here, that entire debate is victim of micro narratives. How many money has been deposited, how many cash black money. There should be meta narrative. Here I find a fault in the court of the ruling party, that they should have created a meta narrative, that because this demonetization is not merely a program, it is a part of a larger scheme. That larger scheme is to benefit the common people, give the economy a solid base. And here I think that it was the job of the Niti Aayog, as previously Planning Commission used to do for Indira Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru. It was the job of the Niti Aayog to mobilize these liberal economists and create a narrative before the people.
So are you saying, that's important what you're saying, are you saying that the government's communication strategy on this has been poorly handled?
No, I think the agencies of the government, Prime Minister has taken a very bold step. This step has been correctly implemented. And what do you say that every day government is coming with...
So the agencies of the government, you're saying, should have communicated this?
Government is coming with a new communique. This means you have to depend on trial and error methods to resolve the crisis, because this crisis can't be resolved through one established methodology, because you have removed the currency.
But this is people's livelihoods at stake, their lives at stake. More than 100 people have died. It's not trial and error in governance.
India is not Argentina. India is not Brazil. You go to the common people.
And hopefully not Venezuela.
Venezuela. I mean, I am talking about the Brazil, because Brazil has also faced this certain problem. India is not United States of America, that it has been facing the problem of crisis in the bank. What I say, you go to the villages, talk to the peasants, because most of the ruling party, opposition party come and say that peasants are in the crisis. You go to the peasants, they are not in the crisis.
You will hear both voices, Mr. Sinha, but my point is, you believe that government bodies like the Niti Aayog could have communicated what the government's plan was better than what they have done.
I think that what Planning Commission was doing for Indira Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru,
it is not doing
this
for
role
this.
Is not being, as I feel, this may be my feeling, not being played by Niti Aayog. They could have created a meta narrative, because this is not the job of the Prime Minister to create a meta narrative. It is the job of the agencies which are helping the government. So they should have organized the seminars at the national level. They could have mobilized
so that is an important point that you're making. But Sambit Patra, I ask you the same question. When the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister have said on record that people had time till the 30th of December to deposit their notes, and in fact, you had the Finance Minister saying that people shouldn't come to deposit them right in the beginning because there is time and because there were, long queues. Why has there been this sudden turnaround? How do you explain that to people? And now, have banks become police stations where people who do go to deposit, say, 6,000, 7,000 rupees, now have to explain themselves to two bank officials and explain why it wasn't deposited earlier? First, you tell people don't deposit it earlier. Now they have to go and subject themselves to questioning and explain why they didn't deposit it earlier.
Number one, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed in the sense that, well, people could deposit their money before today and people can deposit their money after today. The only thing that has slightly changed is that you have to deposit the amount that you have in your hand at one go, not at multiple go. So Nidhi, if you or me had some amount of cash in our home which we had not deposited in the yesterdays, it's as simple as that. Carry that 1 lakh rupees, 50,000 rupees, 6,000 rupees, whatever you have, go to the bank, give them an explanation which is rightful.
Why should people have to explain?
But
why are the rules changing every day? This is the 52nd notification since the 8th of November.
Nidhi, you don't have to be agitated. I'm answering you very calmly and patiently. I'll answer all your questions. I've got the questions. Number one, look, as far as the premise of this whole demonetization, rather I call the remonetization scheme is concerned, the premise is a premium on honesty and punishing the ones who are dishonest. So how do you give a premium on honesty? A premium on honesty is definitely something which, well, you have to have some pain right now, gain later. And the punishment to the dishonesty is definitely you question, and the ones who have something to hide are the ones who are worried. If your income is pure, you have not to worry.
No, so anybody who raises questions about the confusion about 52 notifications is dishonest. They all have black money. I mean, why I'm asking you a simple question.
This is an absurd way of questioning.
You just said it.
On
the 12th of November, the Finance Minister of India said people should not line up to deposit their money in banks because they have time till the end of December to do it. Now we are
Did they have the time?
No, but why should people have to...
Who is telling you now that you cannot deposit?
Why has the rule changed again? Why has the rule changed again? How many notifications?
Nidhi,
52 notifications, Sambit.
I'll
How
tell
is that
you.
explained?
Nidhi,
Does that
the
not
questions
reflect
are longer
poor
than the answer. Let
implementation?
me answer this.
Yeah.
Longer. Nidhi, first is, please don't get agitated. Let's have a cool debate. Number one. When
Do
you
you
say that
say
things
that to
have
all
changed
other
from
anchors
today,
as well, particularly the men? I'll let that pass.
Everyone. I think a patient debate is what is required on this serious issue. Number one. Why do you feel, Nidhi, that things have changed from today? And why do you think it is inconvenient?
I don't feel it. I have read the RBI notification. I'm talking based on fact. We're all asking based on
Nidhi,
fact.
please allow the BJP spokesperson at least to speak few sentences uninterrupted. Don't be agitated. It is my fourth time the advice that I give to you.
Sambit, no one is agitated. I think you need to calm down because you're being asked some tough questions. The RSS spokesperson is also here. He's answered all the questions.
Nidhi,
Don't make comments about my style of questioning. Just answer the question, please.
No, don't
it's
be.
a kind request.
Don't be agitated.
Don't be, don't be agitated.
Okay. Number one. Nothing has changed. Who says things have changed? Nidhi, if an honest person has 6 lakhs rupees in his house, if an honest person has 6 lakh rupees at his or her hand, please go and deposit it tomorrow, day after tomorrow till 30th. Why do you have to go to bank every day with an installment to deposit?
Why is it the government's business if somebody goes to the bank every day?
Nidhi,
why is there so much? Why is there so
I'll
much
tell
interference
you,
by
if
the
you
bureaucracy?
cannot understand that, Nidhi, I thought you could understand this,
Don't
but
get
if you cannot
agitated,
understand this, I'm going to make you understand this as to why it is a government's business. Because if you have, I'm giving you an example, if you have 6 lakh rupees in your home, which is honest money, you will simply go, explain, deposit. You would have no problem. And you would do this in one go. Supposedly, if you had 600 crores in your hand,
Sambit.
then naturally you would not go and deposit in.
You're not able to answer why
the rules are changing. The rules are changing to get hold of the ones who are holding back money. Don't you understand?
So that means you
this?
didn't plan. No, I'm clearly agitated. I don't understand. But since I am agitated and maybe stupid, I just want to understand why you can't tell us why the rules keep changing. Why have the rules changed more than 50 times since this has happened?
I was trying to explain that from the very beginning, but you cut short me every time. Number one, as I told you, the premise is premium on honesty. Surprise is definitely an element when you are fighting against black money, and the hoarders of black money are people who are every day finding innovative ways to convert black money into white, which the government in anticipation was ready with all kind of weapons to shoot it down. So naturally, when these innovative methods are coming into way, the government is shooting it down every day with its own surprise element.
So that is
it
at
is
least
as
an
simple as that.
I will
so
take
I
that to Salman Soz of the Congress. What Sambit is saying is what I asked Professor Kumar at the beginning as well, that is the government then responding to a situation which is constantly evolving, where people are finding shortcuts, finding loopholes in the system. Sambit said surprise is an element of this if you want to crack down on people with illegal money.
The fact of the matter is that I think the government is surprised all the time. I think they're shocked by what's happened. And they should not have been. If they had been prepared, this would not have happened. First of all, let me just say it clearly. This whole scheme, this whole initiative was not necessary for a country as big as this, an economy that was stable.
No, Salman, are you against demonetization
Sambit,
or
please.
do you have a problem with the implementation?
Sambit,
I did not, from the very beginning, you all have maintained that demonetization is a stand with which you stand.
I did not interrupt you, Sambit. We listened to you.
I knew because Nidhi would not interrupt you, so I thought I should get agitated.
Well, you should not.
Don't make personal remarks because that only shows
Sambit,
how
we don't get on
rattled you
TV
are.
shows a lot. So let's
not do that. Let's stick to the facts.
So, first of all, for an economy of this size, which is perhaps one of the largest economies in the world, relatively stable, coming out of 2 straight droughts, you do this at this time, a totally unnecessary scheme, and then without any preparation. I think it's a total disaster. It's a fiasco.